Welcome to Essentials Explained. My name is Luke, and today we'll be walking through the day in the life of a management consultant. While consulting is not structured in a way that you repeat the same day over and over and over again, as in the classic Bill Murray movie, there are common patterns and trends that you will see in the average day. You'll usually start your day with a morning stand-up. This will involve the core executional team getting together, so that will be consultants, associates, manager, getting together and covering down on what needs to be accomplished for the day. This may be referred to as a stand-up, as a rundown, as a morning sync. It all means the same thing. It all means that you are going to get the team together and you're going to talk about what's on your plate, what needs to be accomplished, and what you need to prioritize in order to accomplish the most critical objectives. This can take 30 minutes. The better ones take maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So after your stand-up, you jump to a piece of analysis and you work on aggregating survey results in Excel. During your stand-up, your manager may have asked you to run specific figures that the client is worried about to understand customer trends in their customer survey. So you may open up the Excel file, you may build some pivot tables, do some sum ifs, use whatever you need to do to aggregate the data to answer the question that you have been charged with. So next at 10:30, you have a coffee chat or feedback with your manager or supervisor. During these chats, you will likely cover down on what are the things you're doing well, what are your areas for improvement, and hopefully, if your relationship is good, general career advice or life advice. This is one of the great things about consulting firms is it's a very feedback-oriented culture. And typically every 2 to 3 weeks, you will have a feedback session with someone above you or even below you, depending on your position, to understand what you need to do to continue improving at the job. If you are in person, this is probably over coffee. If you are remote, this is probably over Zoom. So after your coffee chat, you will move into slide creation and you will start to summarize your insights from your initial analysis. You might make bar charts to show how many customers purchased a specific product, and you might pull in some qualitative feedback to summarize your findings. So at noon, maybe you take a 30-minute break for lunch. If you're in the office, maybe you go somewhere with your teammates or your colleagues. This again is variable by firm. There'll be some people watching this that will say, I never break for lunch and I just work through my lunch. And there'll probably be some people watching saying, you only get 30 minutes for lunch. I take 2 hours. It depends on the culture of the firm. It depends on your individual work style. I always like lunch, so I have this in here. Honestly, would prefer 45 minutes to an hour for me. So at 12:30, you'll sit down with your supervisor and discuss the analysis you created. They will typically give you backhanded compliments like, wow, this is amazing, but let's redo almost everything. Or, wow, this is really thoughtful analysis. Have you thought about these 3 minor tweaks that actually mean completely redo everything? So after this productive meeting with your supervisor, you may sit down to work on incorporating those edits and to updating your pages to reflect the helpful suggestions of those above you. At 1:30, you have a case team meeting and you sit down with your entire working team. So that is your individual work stream, all the different work streams, your manager, and then potentially the operating partner to opine on critical issues. This is an opportunity to update your leadership team on the key findings from the case. And you can talk about what you've been able to find, what is your progress on the key deliverables, and how you are tracking towards completing the objectives of the day. They will likely have some thoughts for you and some additional ideas to incorporate into your analysis in your presentation. You will work on incorporating those edits into completing the additional analysis or updating your presentation to prepare for your next client meeting. At 3:30, you have a client meeting where you will sit down with either your direct client counterpart or your supervisors or your manager's client counterpart to present the findings from your analysis. You may be the one presenting this. You may also be sitting back and watch someone else present this. Depends on your seniority and depends on the seniority of the client. This meeting will take until 4:30, and it would behoove you to take detailed notes, which you should share with the direct working team right after the meeting. At 4:30, you have additional commitments that you need to fulfill that fall outside of your direct project scope. At Bain, we call these extra 10s. At BCG, they call these magic time, but it's really anything that falls outside of your direct project responsibilities. Planning office events, planning social events, teaching trainings internally, working with nonprofits. This could be working on green initiatives. There are a number of different responsibilities that could fall on your shoulders outside of your direct project scope. Once you have completed your additional responsibilities at 5 p.m., you may have a checkout for the day. This is where, again, the core executional team, so think the same people that attended your morning stand-up, will get together and we'll talk about what you need to do to wrap up for the day. Maybe we need to do additional analysis, maybe we need to update some slides, maybe we just need to do some thinking on the key objectives for tomorrow. Once this is over, you will get to work and you will attempt to finish everything you have on your plate for the rest of the day. This is the part that's really dependent on not only the firm, but really the individual project, where even within a single firm, you can have some cases that are working till 1, 2 a.m. and you might have some cases that are getting off at 5 or getting off before 5 if you're lucky. Some of these projects will have things they'll need to be working on, they'll need to be pushing until the wee hours of the morning, and some won't. And you'll be able to log off at 5:30 and make it in time for your underwater basket weaving course. This video has been an overview of what the day in the life of a consultant could look like. Again, there is massive variation in what you might do on a given day, project, week, across firms, across individuals, across cases. So take this with a grain of salt, but hopefully helpful to give you an idea of what the job could look like. If you are interested in more consulting content, please check out the other videos on our channel. Otherwise, thank you for joining us at Essentials Explained, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.